Hey everybody, welcome to another episode. I'm Rob.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Andi.
And this is
Everybody in the Conference Room.
That's right. Hey, welcome to episode 13. Tonight we're going to be breaking down Season 2, Episode 7, The Client.
Ooh.
Oh, baby.
The Client.
That's right. And as always, we just want to say thank you for listening. Make sure that wherever you get your podcast that you subscribe and leave us a review there. And if you leave us a 5-star, we'll read it live on the air, and we'll get to one of those in just a minute. But make sure you tell a friend about the show. Great tangible way to help out. And make sure you check us out at Patreon, patreon.com/anofficepod. And we want to say, speaking of Patreon, we want to say thanks to our sponsors for this episode, SAF and Mr. Brian Cavazos. Thank you so much for supporting the show.
Look at
Very
that.
cool.
Yeah.
There's some people that like us out there. Isn't
That's
that?
true.
Guys
That's
are
pretty neat.
kind of awesome.
That is true. Now, speaking of that good 5-star review, this week I want to read one from a buddy on Twitter who decided to pop in and leave us a review. Very cool. So the title of the review is An Amazing Podcast for an Amazing Show.
Yeah, that's true.
Sweet. And then
Yes.
5 golden stars
That's
right after
That's
that.
Some, that's some high praise. And this is what the bod of the review says.
I want you a bod.
That's all it says. It's weird. It says, I fell in love with The Office over the last 2 years and have binged it so many times. I don't have many people to talk about the show with, so listening to this has been wonderful. The chemistry between Rob, Andi, and Adam is palpable, which makes the show that much better. If you love The Office, this is a must listen. And then it's signed Josh Raynor, Merc with a movie blog.
Okay.
Oh.
So this is a
Sweet.
fellow
We'll have to check that
content
out.
creator.
Okay.
Cool.
So he knows good content.
Indeed. So if you're a Twitter user, you can check him out at @movieblogmerc, or you can check him out on iTunes. He's got his own podcast, Merc with a Movie Blog. Check that out on iTunes.
Sweet.
So, Josh, thank you so much, man, for supporting the show, dropping us a review. It means a lot. We really appreciate that. Now, before we jump in tonight, because we are going to break down, like I said, we're going to break down Season 2, Episode 7, The Client. We're also going to take a look at the Jim Prank leaderboard. There's no prank this episode.
Boo.
Yeah, I would.
What a
I was just
lame
gonna say
show.
that. Oh, Adam.
Dang
The
it.
chemistry is real because we are the same.
You were
I
just
will
going to say
say,
boo.
Yeah.
I will say what's awesome is that this is another example, and we'll get into this, but this is another example of a time where Jim organizes some like a cool social event for the office.
Yeah, for
you know what I
sure.
mean? So, but no prank this time. So, and then we're also going to head over to the Dunder Mifflin subreddit and check out some good quality content over there, as always. Before we do, though, I think it would be a good idea for us to, like I said, you can check us out at Patreon, patreon.com/anofficepod.
Yeah.
This week, because of this episode, Michael insists that they take the client to Chili's
Yes.
because it's the new golf
That's where
course.
business is done.
That's right. It's where business is done.
how you close
So
deals.
this week for Patreon, rather than doing the after party at Poor Richard's, the after party is at Chili's.
Ooh, yeah.
And we did it's like a,
I want my baby back.
if you want to hear some great attempts at the Baby Back Ribs song, then you're going to have to go check
awesome,
that out.
awesome, life-changing attempts.
Yes.
I actually still look at those videos and crack up.
Yeah, actually, if you follow us on Instagram, we're at an office pod. If you go over there, saved in our highlights
Yes.
is some of the stories from that night when
Saved
we.
forever.
And it's on Facebook too, right? I remember
Yes,
that.
Yeah.
and you
it
can
is.
see a beautiful video of Adam Jones and I trying to sing the Baby Back Ribs song. And just the emotion, the poignancy of Adam Jones's face
Yes.
every time he tries to
He
sing.
meant it,
I get
folks.
really serious when
so good.
I think at one point he closes his eyes.
He's just trying to get into that emotional.
His
that Baby
eyebrows
Back
go
Ribs
up and his
emotional
eyes
switch.
close.
it just felt
It's
the
pretty
moment.
sweet.
We're in a Chili's
It's so good.
and we're recording this. Like, we got to try this now.
Yeah. So it's really fun. So over on Patreon, for just $3 a month, you get access to the after party at Poor Richard's. But this week, the after party's at Chili's. It's about 25 or 30-minute adventure of our way to Chili's, being at Chili's, talking with our server.
Oh, we even
Yeah.
get Miss Mary Beth Jones.
That's right,
which
special
is
guest.
Awesome.
My wife is on.
That's right.
Is on that episode.
Adam
Sweet
Jones's
patootie,
bride.
Coolest girl around.
So it was a great time. So make sure you check that out on Patreon. It's going to be Awesome.
And for anybody that's wondering, we did order an Awesome Blossom Extra Awesome.
We did.
On that show.
And we asked the server, hey, if we order an Awesome Blossom Extra Awesome, what does that mean? And she delivers.
She breaks it down.
She
so,
delivers.
Yeah,
Sure.
and
You're gonna wanna
she delivers
listen.
it
That's
with
right.
Extra Awesome.
There might be an
Yes.
Awesome Blossom. There might be some baby back ribs.
Yeah.
There might be some trying to sing baby back ribs.
There's
multiple times.
margaritas. There's
Oh, yeah.
everything.
perfect. That's
Everything
perfect.
Chili's has to offer.
That's right. So
You're
make
gonna
sure
wanna
you
join
check that out.
us for sure.
Yeah, make sure you check that out. Now, guys, are you ready to jump into the client? That sounds weird. I'm sorry.
We're gonna jump right into him.
Let's jump on that client.
All right. So tonight, Chili's is the new golf course. Dwight is spelled Dwight. Jim and Pam go on their first date.
Aww.
And Michael wants his baby back, baby back, baby back. He wants his
Baby
baby back,
back,
baby back, baby back. He wants his baby back, baby back. She tried.
Oh, she was gonna do that. Yeah, that
This
part.
is The Client, Season 2, Episode 7 of The Office. All right, so the episode opens with Ryan walking in with Michael's dry cleaned denim jeans.
I wouldn't have guessed that of Michael. Like, I would guess him just wearing jeans, kind of damp off the floor every once in a while. I mean, he's a bachelor.
You would. Yeah.
I think at this point in the show, me imagining Michael Scott wearing anything besides slacks constantly.
Yeah. But also he's just kind of that guy who I think he wants to take such good care of those jeans and have them be dry cleaned, because to Michael Scott it matters that he looks good and sexy.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
he's like, this
And
is
blue
important.
slacks does that.
Yeah.
Well, blue jeans, Levi jeans.
Well, maybe the
Okay.
thing. Okay. So you're just like diving into a whole different territory than what I was thinking about. Maybe for Michael, like he's always in that suit. That when he gets his jeans on, it's like this is my one chance to really let loose.
Let the
laid
animal
back,
out.
Michael.
Yeah. I love that. Let the animal,
Animal
out.
out.
Okay, I can see that. I
think
can
that's
see
what
that
we
side
s-
of Michael.
I think it's what we see in those clips, because we see him. He's on the receptionist desk at one point. Am I remembering this right? Like,
Yeah, so-
there's whole different things happening.
Yeah, like Pam is talking about that when Michael puts his jeans on, like he just becomes a different man. And
Right.
The best way that I could like break it down is that to me he almost seemed like a person in a like jeans ad. He's like dancing and like lifting weights,
Yeah.
and he like jumps up
Yeah.
on the counter.
He's
and
got
he's like
those eyebrows.
He's in the he puts
The
his feet in the
smolder.
trash can and is like
being
right.
like riding a horse.
riding a horse or something. Like, yeah, just somebody totally
No,
different.
Adam just got weird. What?
No, he really does
He
that.
does
And-
do that. Yeah,
And
when?
he does. He's like,
it's one of the clips. Yeah,
Like, giddy up.
yeah, you can't see it, but I'm doing it in my chair.
He is doing it, guys.
we will go. You know what? We don't have this clip like organized in the show, but
Yeah.
go ahead. Let's pull
Okay,
this
oh,
clip
I'll-
up.
I'll find it.
just so
Hold on.
Andy can see.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Because
so
I must have missed that.
he is riding. Here, we're just gonna watch this. Here we go. Look at that. He's up on the
Oh,
counter.
I
He's
see.
There he's up
dancing.
right there. Yeah,
There he
He's
is.
lifting his
Wait.
weights.
this right here.
Oh, trash can feet.
Yeah,
He
so-
literally is getting up with trash cans on his feet.
Are those supposed to be like stirrups or boots or what?
I look at Pam's face. She's like, "Oh, brother."
Yeah. So
And here we go.
What is he doing? What is that in that moment? I'm trying to think. Michael Scott. He's. Oh boy.
And maybe those are his makeshift cowboy
This
boots.
is
I think it's
like,
cowboy boots, yeah.
Howdy, cowboy. Hello there, cowgirl. Look what I can do.
Yeah, check. I'm in my Wranglers. These are my boots. So there you go. So and then I love so Pam talks about like he just becomes a different person. This is probably why he decided to start doing casual Fridays.
Right.
And then
And we all know how this office takes casual Friday.
yes, casual Friday will come up
Comes
again,
up.
Yikes.
and it gets much worse.
Yeah.
But then Pam is just like, "I'll take them," and then she just kind of crinkles them up and throws them under the desk. It's
Sure,
like,
he would never know. As if he really cares. He probably just needed something for Ryan to do so he could talk to Ryan.
I
That's
guess so.
true.
I guess so. Although the clips show us. Anytime
I love
the
my
jeans,
jeans.
yeah. Anytime the jeans go on, he's an animal, like you said.
Yeah.
So then, so as the episode continues on, so Jan and Michael are in the conference room where all the good stuff happens, and they're talking about this client. They're going over the fact that Lackawanna County is in need of paper. There's hospitals, there's schools. This is a big deal. We need to land this client, and then we get a little interview with Jim, who tells us why the stakes are so high for this client. Let's take a look at this clip.
2 hospitals.
So this possible client they're talking about, actually a big deal. It's Lackawanna County, our whole county. And if we get this, they might not have to downsize our branch. And I could work here for years. Years. Years.
Seems very excited about that prospect.
Job security, Jim. Come on, man. That's
Yeah.
good stuff. So as the meeting continues, Jan is like, hey, we're going to meet at the Radisson and all that. And Michael lets her know, no. I changed the meeting space to Chili's. It is the new golf course. It is where business happens. Mm-hmm. Small Businessman Weekly.
And if you want to know if that's true, on our Patreon episode, we asked the waitress.
Indeed, we do.
Mm-hmm.
So
And she gives us some insight.
Yes, she absolutely does.
So it's funny because he says it's where business happens. Small businessman. Or is it quarterly? It might be quarterly.
Yeah, small business something.
And I love that Jan is like, does it actually say that? And he's like, well, it will, because I sent it in.
I
Letter to the editor.
So Michael Scott is ahead of his game already because he's predicting what's in it.
I think this episode probably proves him right, but it's good stuff. So then we cut over to the break room, and they're talking. We got a lot of the crew there, and they're talking worst first dates.
Yes.
Okay.
I actually would love to hear your guys' worst first date.
Oh, really?
I would.
I don't think I have a worst.
Did you do a lot of dating, Adam Jones?
I didn't do a lot, but even the ones that the dates that I had were not bad. They went good.
Okay, what was your worst moment in a date?
My worst moment in a date. It's not even that bad because I remember with my wife Mary Beth, it was probably the second or third date. We went to a movie, and it's in Chicago. We were in school in Chicago. It's snowing.
Ooh.
So we walked there. That's generally speaking what you would do. And we walk there, and by the time we get there, the movie is sold out. So then we walk back and
nice.
have to do something else.
We have to make out on the couch.
We have to make
Man.
out on the
Oh.
couch. So I mean, that's about.
What
that's
did you
really
guys
as bad
do?
as it gets.
You just kind of hung out?
We went back and played ping pong.
Of course.
Sounds
That's
right.
what one would do.
Sounds about
Yeah,
right.
so-
Set
What about
early,
you?
set good.
Worst date? Worst moment in a date?
I remember. So I'm a pretty simple guy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need a lot of frills in my
Sure.
life.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay. I remember I went, and once again, a la Adam Jones, I didn't do a ton of dating.
Yeah.
Okay. So I wasn't like a social dater or anything like that. But there was a girl that I did take to dinner one time. We went to Chevy's. You ever been to Chevy's?
I don't know what that is.
It's like
the Mexican
Tex-Mex.
of Chili's.
What's
Like
a
it's like
Tex-Mex?
Chili's but with Tex-Mex.
It's similar to Chili's, but
Yeah.
it's Tex-Mex.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a great way to put it.
I
Actually,
got
it's pretty
that.
good.
Yep. Okay.
I miss
I'm not a
Chevys.
big fan of Chevy's.
I don't
actually.
think I've seen a Chevy's here in
No.
Utah.
No, Chili's is way better.
Okay, sure.
So I just remember probably we had like a mutual friend. Okay, and we're probably like 15, 20 minutes in. And we're just kind of talking about the future and kind of like who we are and whatever. And there was a moment where this girl looked at me and she was like, I'm used to the finer things in life.
Oh.
And I will have them.
Ooh.
And it was at that moment that I just knew we're never going to be together.
Oh no.
After that, what is that? Like awkward pause? What do you do? Oh, okay.
I think in the moment I was like, I had like a taco in my hand. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'll get that.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're
I'm
just
gonna, like,
eating
chow
Tex-Mex
down.
at this Chili's, not Chili's place, but yeah, we're gonna have all the fine things in life.
Totally. I was just like, all right, well, we're done. So
You didn't call her back.
no. It was done after that. I mean, it wasn't as bad as what we find out here. So
Yeah.
we get Oscar sitting down with a woman who did a full background check and was questioning him.
Ooh.
That's weird.
Yikes.
That's really weird.
And then we get Pam, who was
Oh, yeah,
left
this is the
at a
worst.
hockey game, and we find out it was by Roy.
Of course.
Right.
So mine weren't that bad. Andy, what about you? Worst first date or worst date experience? And if it was with me, the couch is going to be real comfortable tonight.
Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. Let me think. I don't remember a lot of first dates. I think the way I operate is we're friends first, so we've hung out a few times. So the first date is never really that awkward.
Yeah.
I do remember a moment where somebody who we were dating for not very long leaned in for a kiss, and that was early and surprising, and I wasn't ready for it, and I did turn my head.
Excellent. Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
and I didn't know how to recover from
That's
that,
that
and
not
I think
today.
I ended up saying, "I am so sorry. I thought we were good friends."
Oh,
or something
Andy.
like that. And then I was thinking,
Friend
oh man,
zones.
I don't know how to recover from this.
Ooh.
But yeah, I did get, I
tough.
did diss a kiss on a date.
You
and that
friend
was-
zoned him to the max.
Yeah, that was hard. That was
Oh
hard.
no, that's bad.
Let me just tell you, Adam Jones, that wasn't me. If
That's
you know,
right.
If you know what I mean.
That's right.
That wasn't me.
I went in for a kiss and we kissed.
That was true of Rob Lambert.
I was contemplating a lot of different phrases in my mind. I was like,
No.
no, kiss just works.
That was great. That was really good. So as we continue, so Mike and Jan, they're getting ready to head out to go meet this client at Chili's. So good. And as they're heading out, Michael is like, "Hey, wish us luck." Dwight says, "Good luck, Jan. Good luck, Michael." His response is under his breath saying, "Kiss ass."
Yeah, kiss ass. Yeah, that's pretty accurate description of Dwight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So then Michael tells everyone to go ahead and head home because this meeting's going to last a while. Which, I mean, what time?
It looks like it's about 4:00.
Okay, so he's going to let him off an hour early.
I mean, that's what I'm guessing. I don't know for sure. But also, I noticed when I watched this episode again that it looks like at first they're just getting appetizers, and then they move on to the fact that he's saying, to get ribs. So, anyways,
Yeah.
I'm getting ahead of the episode, but maybe it was even earlier. Maybe it was 3 p.m. Like,
Yeah.
let's grab an app
Sure.
and sign papers.
Yeah, totally.
Sure.
And Jan is not having that. And Michael goes into this spiral, really, of like, no work
Yeah.
really gets done when I'm gone. Actually, more work gets done when I'm gone. Wait, that's not
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Same amount whether I'm here or not, which might not be that good either.
I just think I thought to myself, man, if this was the case at our office, I work in the office a lot by myself sometimes because you guys are always at Starbucks.
That's
do.
true.
We work from Starbucks so much, it's almost embarrassing.
Yeah.
We have a
in the
Starbucks
business.
budget. That's how much
You know what
work
we
from
should start doing?
What?
Starbucks.
Working at Chili's.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
That would
Can
be
you
fun.
imagine?
We have done, before you guys were on at our branch, we used to do more lunch meetings at Chili's sometimes.
No
like just
way.
spontaneously.
We're going to have to bring that back.
Yeah, I feel
figure
like
that
we
out.
need to almost complain that we haven't got that yet.
So good.
Yeah.
Now it's always just Chipotle.
Yeah, Chipotle's become the new big thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chipotle.
like it.
Chipotle has become the new Chili's, which has become the new golf course.
Oh,
There.
yeah.
So as Michael and Jan are driving, Michael's like, "Hey, we should come up with a signal in case something goes wrong." And Jan is basically like, "What kind of trouble do you think you're going to get into?" We agreed. I will do all the talking.
I think this is where I start to really like Michael Scott. So I think I mentioned before, I was not a fan of Michael Scott at the beginning. He grows on me eventually. And, now we're best friends, hang out on the weekends.
Indeed.
Love Michael Scott.
Wear your
But-
jeans together. All that.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure. We
yeah.
like dancing, trash cans. What else do you do with Michael Scott? But I think this episode is when it starts to turn for me because I see, okay, he's a real guy. Not only that, he's super fun. If my boss looked at me and was like, or even somebody I worked with looked at me and said, okay, we need a safe word. Like, let's plan this out. I'd be like, oh, yeah. Oh, this is getting
Yeah.
good.
And the reason why this does not surprise me is that Andi loves to do pranks. Not even pranks. She likes to mess around at the office.
Oh, sure.
Hence the
Yes.
calendar incident this past
Oh,
week.
gosh.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you want to elaborate on that just a little bit?
Our boss puts up a calendar in our
A
office.
huge, like
A
yearly.
huge. I bet you it was 4 feet
He
tall.
meant like
Yeah.
serious business too. He probably spent like an hour filling in all of these.
No, it was big. It was like 6 feet. Like it
Oh,
took up an
sure.
entire
Oh,
wall.
it's
Yeah.
bigger than
We're
me.
gonna do
Big.
all of our calendaring for the whole year. It was
Yeah.
a big one.
And
Yeah,
Andi
that's what
comes
she
in
said.
and is like, oh, and she thinks it's funny, and he's using it to like plan out the year.
And there's already like stuff written in and like
Yep.
sticky notes put tentatively.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you, friends,
So-
he took so much time on
So
this.
it's already kind of populated where there's like a foundation to work with. Like it's not like it's like clean and she's gonna add stuff. It's like
Yeah.
you're gonna have to notice it
Yep.
when she starts.
And so then she starts to write things on the calendar. And the best part about it is that one of our coworkers who wasn't there when we were doing this was reading it and didn't realize they were Andy's writings on
And
it.
he
Like,
was so excited.
for instance,
Yes, I
for
had
instance,
a lot of fun.
there
touring
was
here.
there was staff pool day, which our coworker Nick was very excited about.
He was like, "There's gonna be a staff pool day.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep.
Let me get my trunks."
There was bring your flask to work day.
Of course.
There was
Of course.
big booty competition day,
I'm
which was
telling you,
on the
we
calendar
were
as
ready.
big booty comp. And it was funny because Nick said it that way. He's like, what's it? And he's asking our boss, what's big booty comp on the calendar?
And you guys have to know, our boss is the most serious, guy.
Straight edge.
Straight edge, serious. Like, he's got a good smile, but he doesn't show it off.
No, it's pretty. Yeah, right. Exactly.
That's so funny. What's funny too is that our coworker Nick. We talk about Nick a lot. He's the one who can do a no-hand cartwheel. He knows karate.
Yeah.
And apparently, he was very excited about a big booty comp.
He's the youngest one in the office.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He probably would have won that competition.
He would win the big booty comp.
Yes, he would. Yes.
Except I would win in my category. The women.
That's
Sure, if you did
category.
men's and women's, yeah.
That's true.
That's fine. Yeah.
Oh, Andi and her
Anyways.
shenanigans.
Yeah, our boss, I don't think our boss thought it was very funny. When I came back to work, he handed me a rag and a spray bottle, and he said, "You have a lot of cleaning up to do."
It was so good. So,
Very straight-faced.
it was awesome. So Michael and Jan, they arrive at Chili's and they're meeting Christian, who, by the way, is played by Tim Meadows from SNL.
Oh yeah.
SNL fame. Love Tim Meadows. He was the ladies man. Anyways, so they meet Christian, and he is the guy from the county who they're talking about making a deal with. And Jan, basically, when they're introducing, she says, "Jan Levinson, no Gould."
Yeah.
And Michael is kind of blown away when he finds out that Jan got divorced. No Gould. What did Gould die? He says.
It
That
is not.
is my favorite part. He looks at her and he's did cool.
She's dying. Speaking of dying, Andy's losing her mind.
Yeah. I mean, would
Is
it?
the fact that he asked that so seriously, did Gould die? What if he did? That would have been terrible.
Like in front of the county guy at Chili's.
Yeah.
Your husband died?
Oh, whoa.
What happened?
The best way, and this is not an over-exaggeration, would be to say that Michael was knocked off the tracks by
Oh.
like
Completely.
Just
Oh,
whoa,
for
everything.
Sure.
Oh,
Like
boy.
this huge deal we're
That
trying
was
to
the
make.
surprise of his life.
Pump the brakes.
Yeah, hold on.
Did he die?
Hence why Michael started to become my favorite person ever. Wait, no Gold? Did he die?
He's concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
he's concerned.
Big-hearted Michael.
I just love as they're going to the table. Doesn't he turn around to the camera and mouth, "Oh my God."
Yeah, he does
Yes,
as they're
he
walking.
did.
Yeah, to the table.
There
Yeah.
you go. So once they get to the table, Jan is like all about business.
Oh yeah.
She's like very much wanting to just like dive right in. And two things here that are awesome. Number one, Michael says, "Awesome blossom."
Uh huh. Yeah.
We're going to order an awesome blossom. But I love
Extra
that
awesome.
he turns around, he says, "Hey, Megan,
Yeah.
can we get an awesome blossom extra awesome?" He knows the server's name.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is he just a regular at this Chili's?
Maybe he's a regular, or he's just the type of guy that knows people's names. He's that people.
He's going to check that
yeah,
name
for
tag.
sure.
Yeah,
He's going to call the server by their name as if we're best buds.
Yeah.
And I think we
Yeah.
learned that as the episode goes, that he's starting to read the client
Uh-huh.
and he's responding that way. He
Yes.
is a people reader. He knows how to respond to people,
Sometimes.
learns their names.
Sometimes he is very oblivious.
I know,
Yeah,
but the
yeah,
thing
yeah.
is, we always look at Michael and we see him in the office with the same old
Sure,
people where he
yeah.
has no one. He doesn't need to show his A game. He should. I mean, he's the boss, but he doesn't need to.
Well, he's so comfortable with these
But
people already,
we
I guess.
see him in action and we're like, there it is.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why
he's
he's the
got it.
manager. We've been confused for a whole season plus
Season
as
and
to
a
how
half
this
almost.
guy, is the manager, and then he shows up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome,
that's
actually.
that's good insight. Yeah.
That's rad. So they go ahead and they order the Awesome Blossom, which, once again, over on Patreon, we ordered the Awesome Blossom extra awesome, so... We'll
Join us there, folks.
figure out what that looks like. One of the little side notes here that I noticed too is that when they're sitting there, there's like a menu that's facing the camera, and there's like some kind of promotion they're doing, but it says "shaking it up," and it just made me think of,
Oh,
"Come on, Pam, shake it up,
shake it up.
shake it up, shake it up, Pam, shake it up."
Shake it up.
It was just fun. So then Michael wants to tell Christian a joke, and Jan is like, "No, one joke, fine, one joke."
Thanks,
And this like
Mom.
really puts him on the spot where he's like, "I have to find the perfect joke." He's going to think about it. And then Pam gets a call, and when she picks up the phone, Michael's on the other side of the line. That's a weird way to say it. And he needs her help getting some, in quotes, data. Let's check out this clip.
Dunder Mifflin, this is Pam.
Pam, it's Michael. I need you to go into my office and check some data for me.
Okay. You want me to read them?
Yes.
Okay. A fisherman is walking down Fifth Avenue, leading an animal behind him. When
Nope. Told it. Not as good as you think. Pick another one.
okay,
He needs
there's
a
a
killer
transcript
joke.
between a naval ship.
Okay. Bingo. And a lighthouse.
Yes, that is hysterical. Could you start that one from the beginning?
All right. So
I love how he's sitting separate from them. He had to excuse himself from the table to make this phone call.
to go get the joke. Now, here's the interesting thing. I decided to Google the phrase, a fisherman is walking down Fifth Avenue with an animal trailing behind him. I could not find a joke with that.
So it's
But
a true
then-
Michael Scottism.
I Googled a transcript between a naval ship and a lighthouse. And over at www.navy.mil, there is an actual. This is a joke. This is a real. This is a legit thing.
Let's hear
Let's do
it.
it.
Let's hear
And
it.
Michael says that this is killer. He says that this is like hilarious. Read it from the beginning. So this is what it says. The following is being transmitted around the internet as an event that really took place, but it never actually happened. So this is what it says. So the U.S. ship says, please divert your course 0.5 degrees to the south to avoid a collision. The other side replies, recommend you divert your course 15 degrees to the south to avoid a collision. Then the ship responds, this is the captain of a U.S. Navy ship. I say again, divert your course. The other side responds, no, I say again, you divert your course. Then the ship says, this is an aircraft carrier USS Coral Sea. We are a large warship of the U.S. Navy. Divert your course now. The other side says, this is a lighthouse. Your call. That's the joke.
There you go.
It's not very. I don't know.
It didn't deliver.
Doesn't really feel like a killer, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Unless you are the Navy ship and don't divert your course.
Then it's
a killer.
very killer. There you
Yep.
go.
Oh.
Andi Lambert bringing it back from the brink.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
She just
Love
tried
it.
to high five us, and
You know what, I am gonna
Nobody
high-five you for that.
responded. I just threw
Oh,
there
my
you go.
hand in the air.
I was gonna let her
and it
just
was
sit
weird.
there.
So there you go.
And
That-
Adam was very proud of making me look like an idiot.
That was, I guess, the killer one he decides to go with, but we'll see. So as we go back to the office, Pam is putting the joke books back into.
Wait, hold on. I don't want to keep plugging Patreon, but I do.
Do it.
But on our Patreon, we each tell our best joke, and there was some doozies. I gotta say,
Oh, yeah.
Rob's joke was probably my best. My
You had a
favorite
great
joke
delivery
ever.
of
Yes.
Yes.
So
It
yeah.
was great.
So one of the things about when we went to Chili's is Adam Jones prepared some talking points, and it was beautiful. And one of them was, if you're going to impress a client, what is your go-to joke? So we kind of go around the table. It was good stuff. So check that out. Patreon.com/AnOfficePod. $3 a month gets you access to the after party, all that stuff. So Pam is putting the joke book back into Michael's desk, and then she finds something amazing. She finds a script / artwork for Threat Level. Oh, dang it.
Threat level midnight.
Threat Level Threat Level Midnight, a screenplay by Michael Scott.
Yeah.
Starring Michael Scott.
Bum bum bum.
Oh,
And,
baby.
and if you were watching this when it was airing, you're thinking, gosh, I hope we eventually see this.
Yeah, you're thinking, man, wouldn't it be cool if they did an entire
Episode.
episode reenacting?
It comes.
There you
It
go.
comes.
So
Da-da-dum.
that's what she said. So then, so then we're back at Chili's, and Michael is finishing a joke about cars and like all the different cars that these professions drive. Which, did he get to tell another joke, or did he punt the lighthouse joke and go with the "I'm a proctologist, I drive a brown probe"?
Yeah, maybe he just figured, this isn't as good as I thought after he heard it again. And then he decided on this one. That's a great one.
Yeah, I'm glad he went with that one.
The thing, anytime you make a proctologist joke, I feel like it's super dicey, and so that was another chance that he took that paid off because Christian loved it.
He's a gambling man, but it paid off.
That's right. He almost had Awesome Blossom coming out of his nose.
Yeah.
That's what he said. So. So then we go back to the office. The entire team is in the conference room where all the good stuff happens, and they are preparing to do a table read of the screenplay of Threat Level Midnight.
Thank you, Jim.
Oh, this is another example of, once again,
Cool guy Jim.
yes, putting together a cool, like, social thing for the office to do while Michael is away, and it's excellent.
Always pays off.
Dwight is incredibly opposed to this idea. He's like, this is not okay. You took something that belongs to someone else. Until Jim says, do you want to play the lead role of Agent Michael Scarn?
And
Absolutely, I do.
Exactly. So back at Chili's, we're kind of cutting back and forth here. Michael's up to his antics. He's got like a mouth on his tie.
I think he must have specifically worn this tie for the client. I think. If I'm in the mind of Michael Scott, he's like, I've got a big client. I need my talking tie.
I need my talking tie.
You gotta bring out the big guns.
I need my tie to show up and make the sale.
Yeah, it's all about the attire.
This feels like such a something you would do to if there's a kid on the other side of the table.
Right. Yes.
Or it's total dad joke. It's just
sure.
I know he's not a dad, but he feels like one right now.
Are they just drunk at this point?
No,
are they hitting the margaritas yet?
I don't think he is. I think that's Michael Scott.
I'm not quite sure, but but Christian is cracking up about his talking
Christian
tie.
might be.
He is. This is equivalent. See, as a person who really enjoys comedy and providing comedy to others.
Okay.
Speaking of myself, Adam Jones, I don't know why you're laughing right now.
Why is he wearing Comedy Man sash right now? Did you just pull that out? Did you just make it
this
right
is
now
actually,
while we were talking?
This hangs in my closet. It's my
look
comedy sash. When you identify somebody who is your audience, oh baby, there's nothing like it.
You're like, I'm just gonna do really well at this.
Yes, I'm gonna do comedy to this person because they're gonna laugh.
Yeah, right.
Michael found his audience
found his
with
guy.
Christian. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
He was just on fire. Oh, it's so good. So Jan, even though we got the talking tie going, all that, Jan is just pushing to get down to business. And this is where Michael then uses, I guess, what we would consider the signal and just shouts nonsense.
Yeah. Can you do good impersonate? Andy's trying right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. I rocked it.
And he blames Jan. They didn't have a signal.
Yeah, he's like, this is exactly why I wanted to have
I'm with Michael
signal.
on this one. That is exactly why they needed a signal. I think she should have paused, looked at him, and said, let's do this. And then they should have chosen a signal. That's what I would have done.
It's just so funny. Goggle. I think he does that.
And
that reminds me of the rewind feature that sometimes movies or shows will do, to go back and reenact something. It was like he was trying to take back what she said.
Exactly. This is why we needed a signal, so I didn't have to shout nonsense words.
Yeah.
And we have a clip here, but Michael does want to get down to business, but he wants to get down to a different kind of business.
Did somebody say baby back ribs?
I don't think Christian has time for that.
I have time.
Oh, he's got time for those
I
baby.
want my baby back.
Here we go.
Oh, eyes
I want my
closed.
baby
Here
back,
it
baby
goes.
back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my
Baby back ribs.
What I love is the client, Christian. He is swaying back and forth.
Oh, he's
and
into
he's
it.
Into it. He even closes his eyes at one point, just saying,
Yeah.
baby back, baby back, baby.
He not only has time for ribs, but he's ready to sing the song.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
this is the point where Michael knew, I'm getting this deal.
Yeah.
Probably. He feels like, I'm going to close the heck out of this.
Hey,
Yeah.
if you
Yep.
sing with a grown man at a table in a restaurant, you guys have got chemistry. It's going somewhere.
Speaking of chemistry, if you check it out at patreon.com/anonymouspod, when we go to Chili's, somebody
Try.
does order those good baby back ribs.
We did not plan to plug it this much, but that night was so stinking
It was fun.
We
Yeah.
can't stop
Yeah.
talking about it.
And Adam Jones and I tried so hard to do that song.
That song right
3 or
there.
4 times.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I just get a really serious look on my face when I'm trying to
He
do
meant it. He meant baby back ribs.
That's right.
Also, the big problem I put my finger on is that you never invited me to join.
Ooh, to sing.
Had you, who knows? It
That's right.
might have been a big success.
Yeah,
saying.
we
Just
tried
throwing
it
it
at
out
the
there.
beginning of the show. I think we should try it one more time.
Okay.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back.
Who's
I want
doing
my
Chili's?
baby back, baby
Okay,
back,
I got
baby
it.
back. I want my baby back,
Chili's.
baby back, baby back. I want my
Baby back
baby
ribs. Okay, I don't know the song.
No, that was good. That was the best.
Actually,
probably.
my finger went up at one point. Like
did.
I was hitting these notes.
It was like, imagine if Mariah Carey was singing Chili's Baby Back Ribs. She had one hand on her ear and then one hand pointing.
I
and she was
did.
like,
That totally. I'm embarrassed to say that was 100% true.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
So, and then somebody eats some baby back ribs, and you'll find out if they're good or not. Go check it out. Anyways, so we go back to the office, and the crew is sitting around the table. They're doing the table read, and Dwight is playing Agent Michael Scarn, and I think it's safe to say that he's pretty bad at acting.
Yeah. Yes, he is pretty bad at acting. Yes.
He lets us know, though, that he is an actor. Like, he has a pedigree. He played Muty, the mailman, in the production of Oklahoma in high school.
Is this? Yeah, because this is all the part where it's like Phyllis is reading some lines. She's like, "I have some messages for you."
Catherine Zeta-Jones, what are you doing in here?
I have some messages for you. Not now.
But this one's really important.
It wasn't Catherine Zeta-Jones. Who was it? Catherine Zeta...
No, Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Zeta-Jones.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just for some reason, she plays herself.
The first one is, "I love you."
And that's from me.
And that's from me. Yeah, that's right.
So Dwight is bad. So Phyllis, I think, is fine. Like,
No, she was great.
She's fine.
All-star.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, but after that line, he says, "No, I work with you." Blah blah. And he says, "And get off my desk." I love that.
So
The first message, and you can just imagine the papers flying.
yeah, for real.
I love
Yep.
you.
The first one is "I love you," and that's from me.
Get off my desk.
There you go. He's a ladies' man. So Phyllis is fine. Ryan is terrible.
Of course.
Roy pops in. He wants to leave. Dwight.
Still terrible.
Pam says that she's going to stay. Kevin says Michael's movie, 2 thumbs down, which I feel like Kevin would be a very easy one to impress.
Sure.
He's not
he would
having
be.
it. And then as they're reading, we get the Dwigged. W-I-G-T.
Dwigged.
Yeah, you're such an idiot, Dwigged. And Pam sort of deciphers that Michael had this sidekick that eventually was named Samuel L. Chang.
Sure.
Yeah.
And he was responsible for the downfall. Like, he's this bumbling idiot all through the screenplay. But originally, she thinks it was Dwight. And then Michael tried to go in and, like, auto-find all the Dwights and change them.
Yeah.
But he missed. Dwigged.
One Dwigged.
One Dwigged.
Hanging out there, revealing all of Michael's secrets.
There you go. So Dwight is incredibly upset. He decides that, hey, this is stupid. And if you want to see a real show, my uncle gave me some fireworks. Meet me outside.
Yeah.
Sure.
I
that would
total
be a real
Dwight.
show.
I, for one, would say, yes, I'm coming with you.
Yeah.
I want to see Dwight with fireworks.
Yes, me too. I am working late for that.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
And so back at Chili's.
Similar to me working late, that one time you guys all went on the roof to try and figure out how to cartwheel. Same thing.
Yes. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Might as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
we should have had fireworks up there.
Yeah, we should have.
Next time.
So back at Chili's, they are finishing up the ribs, and they had some margaritas. They're playing Truth or Dare. We see that, like, Christian was totally just bearing his soul.
He's getting tipsy by now, I think, actually.
Yes,
Yeah.
a little bit. And then they want the details of Jan's divorce, which she eventually spills.
Or
And-
his death.
Yeah, exactly.
Margaritas will do that to you. Open you right
What do you
up.
say? What do you always say, Andy? Tequila makes what?
Something about clothes not being on the body.
I think you say tequila makes your clothes comes off. So something.
Okay, to be fair, I don't say that. I agree with
It's a country
that.
song.
Yeah.
It's been said. I say, sure, that could be true.
Yeah.
I just remember Andy saying it once. I was like, this is great.
This is a theory that could be tested. Okay, let's move on.
Right, yeah.
So Jim, so as they're taking a little break from the table read, Jim is making dinner. He lets us know that he canceled plans with friends for this, but that's okay. He's not a complainer.
He's not a complainer.
And then they head up to the roof, and he's going to sit and have dinner with Pam. His famous grilled cheese.
If you don't think this is a date, I don't know what you think
I
is a date.
know. I mean, if you were to do that with somebody, that's a date.
Did
it is.
Did it escalate on accident as far as Pam is concerned? He's like, hey, can you come with me? Was it like a, hey, we're going to go up to the roof and see the fireworks?
I don't know. She brought that candle.
She did bring the candle,
Yeah.
But for bugs.
For bugs.
but she didn't know
That
that
makes
food
sense.
was coming. Because then we
That's
see
true.
Jim say, hey, bugs
Okay.
She
love
bought
my...
the sodas.
my
too.
If
grilled
I
cheese.
put myself in Pam's
She
shoes,
did buy the sodas, you're right.
Yeah, she did.
Ooh.
if I put myself in Pam's shoes and that were to happen to me, I would assume it's innocent.
You would? I can't tell if you're
Okay, no.
Stunning
I really-
revelation
no,
here,
no,
ladies
no,
and gentlemen.
I really do mean that. Because if somebody were to be like, "Hey, let's go watch fire," like,
Sure.
Fireworks from the roof, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, bring chairs, of course."
Let me get some
And
drinks.
you knowing me, I would think, "Oh, mosquitoes? No way. Let me bring this candle."
Okay.
Like that would be my train of thought. Just Andi.
The good thing is there's
I
no
don't know.
mosquitoes in Utah somehow.
There you
That
go.
is so true. How is that?
Okay.
How is that a thing?
It's too dry.
I love it.
I
Love
think.
it.
No
So good.
mosquitoes.
So wait, so where's the line? So okay, so Pam brings the candle, she brings the sodas,
Uh-huh.
but Jim brings the
Dinner.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Jim doesn't pull out the sandwiches and they just are sitting up there drinking a soda with
And talking, that's
a
friends.
citronella
that's
candle,
friends,
watching
yeah.
the fireworks. So is
Yeah.
it? Is
I
it?
could find
I
myself.
thought you
what
just
you're
said watching
saying-
farts.
Yeah, watching Kevin and Dwight fart. No, watching the fireworks. So what we're saying is the thin line between friends and almost a little bit of an affair.
Is dinner.
Grilled cheese sandwich.
Grilled cheese
Or
sandwich.
grilled cheese, yeah.
That's the line.
And I still don't know how he grilled them. I actually thought while I was watching the episode, I was like, does he have a griddle there? or
Maybe
is he
there was a
microwaving
toaster of
them?
it.
I think it was a
Oh,
toaster.
a
oven,
toaster oven. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. That would
think
do it. Yep.
So Jim and Pam are up on the roof. They're enjoying the fireworks show that Dwight and Kevin are putting on. Dwight is jumping over the fireworks. Kevin
Okay,
is
would you guys miss that?
Kevin is
I would wanna
kicking them.
watch it.
Yeah, no.
He's just
I
like
get
kicking his
that.
foot into the fire.
Yeah, he is like kicking up brush into
I
it.
think he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try and jump this," and then he realized, "Nope."
Nope, that's not
Can't do
going to happen.
that. Can't do that.
So my question is, why is everyone still there? It is very late at this point, it seems.
Yeah.
Well, where was everyone else? Like they found the perfect spot on the roof, alone together. Everybody else stayed to watch, but where were they?
Or did they start to leave?
Well, that's
Oh,
true because we
maybe.
only see Kevin and Dwight across the street, and we only
Yeah.
see Jim and Pam on the roof. And later, when Jim and Pam leave, we only see the two of them.
Yeah, I think people
Sure.
were starting to leave then.
There
And
you
the
go.
thing is that it makes perfect sense that Kevin be like, well, not. I'll go out with you.
I got nothing to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I'm just gonna go home and eat a whole pizza. Okay.
by myself.
And I would
actually
be on the
sounds so
roof.
good
So,
right now.
here is how it does look innocent on Pam's part, because I would be on the roof. Because how dangerous would you ever get close to fireworks and Dwight?
Touche.
Yeah,
I guess
I
you're
would
right.
be like, what
I
is
thought you were
the
just about to be
furthest
like,
place
would you ever
could
get
go?
close to fireworks? I'm like, yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Dwight.
and Dwight.
Dwight.
Dwight is
Once
the
again,
game changer.
the thin line is Dwight.
It's Dwight.
Cheese sandwiches and Dwight.
Dwight
There
are
you
the
go.
lines.
Those
yeah.
are the lines.
There you
Yep, yep, yep.
So back at Chili's, they've moved to the bar. They've wrapped up at the table. They've moved to the bar. They're doing beers. And this is where Michael begins to close the deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
In all his brilliance, surprising brilliance.
Yes, he's talking about that, like, he's native to the county. He knows the needs.
Yeah.
He's talking about the big guys coming in, shutting them down, hiking up the price.
Yeah.
And you can see Jan's face just start to turn. And there's this moment, even where she's like getting ready to speak, and he's
And
like,
he kind of, yeah, don't, yeah, he kind of says don't.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then he closes it,
Yeah.
and her face is just like, it's
There
a
it
miracle.
is.
You're
Yeah.
amazing.
Honestly, Michael has never been sexier because he showed up. He
Can I-
showed
tell
his,
us more,
like,
Andi.
Awesomeness. Oh, that I feel like I feel like I said that. He just like he showed his awesomeness where you're like, you know what? Because he was surprisingly awesome. The man knew what he was doing, was the boss, was the hero of the situation.
Indeed, indeed. I will say this, and this is a true confession right now, ladies and gentlemen, on
Okay.
this podcast. In my ripe old age of 35,
Right.
Oh, he said his age.
I have, well, you know what? As I've listened to previous episodes, as I've went back and listened a little bit just for review purposes,
Not
strictly
because
to
you
make the show
like
better.
your voice or anything.
Indeed, yeah, it has nothing to do with that. When we talk about like that, I'm the old man. It sounds like I'm
Yeah.
like 50. No,
Well-
35, ladies.
Yeah,
Well,
he's-
35 is not a young
What?
chicken.
A young chicken,
I was like, as soon as that came out, I'm like, wait, what is
right,
the
I'm
normal phrase? I'm
a
not sure.
rooster, I'm a fighting.
And then you're like a young little
No,
chicklick. What is it?
I'm a 35-year-old fighting rooster. Anyways,
Chicken.
in my ripe old age of 35, I have found that and I think even after like becoming a dad and stuff, there's just this thing inside of you that turns on a little bit that just makes you a little bit more susceptible to emotion. And I'm
He's a
not going to
crier,
lie.
folks.
There was a moment when he's closing this deal and you're like seeing how much of a boss he is.
Yeah.
Where I got just a little bit choked up. Just a little.
Oh,
Oh, you're just so proud.
I'm
It's
not-
the pride.
Yeah, I'm not talking like Braveheart, like Saving Private Ryan choked
Sure,
up.
Those are
Yeah.
like.
I'm not
big
even
old man
talking
tears.
like Avengers Endgame choked up.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah,
that
yeah,
was-
yeah.
Just
Okay.
the smallest tinge of like
Oh, he
Way to
did
go,
it.
man.
That's
Way to
my
go.
boy.
Yeah, he did it.
We were not sure about you, Michael, but there you
But you did.
There you
There
go.
you did it.
Yeah, and I think even what it is the line where he like looks over at Jan and he's like, "Well, corporate's gonna go ballistic."
Yes.
You know, like
Yeah.
it just.
Yes.
Oh,
It's like the icing on the cake. He's like, he knows he's got it, and he's like, I'm just gonna play a little bit longer here.
Yeah.
And
We're on your
and
side,
Jan's
man.
eyes
Yeah.
just get brighter and brighter as he continues to talk, and you're like, there it is.
Yeah.
What a man, hobo.
What a man! What a man! What a man!
Man. Oh yeah.
Mighty good man.
Thank you
Eyes
for-
are closed again.
Mighty
Fingers
good
up.
man.
Ooh, beautiful.
Yeah.
So then.
Adam Jones, everybody.
It's good. It's good. Way to finishing it strong. I love it. So then back at the office, Jim and Pam are finally leaving, and Jim says, and I quote, "See you in 10 hours."
So if they get in, I think they said they get in at 9, so that would be 11 o'clock at night.
They are leaving the office at 11 p.m.
Okay, here.
Yeah.
So initially we're saying, okay, I could see how Pam can get herself in that situation innocently.
Sure.
Here's where it changes. This is no longer innocent.
When they're standing
Here you
in
go.
the
Yeah.
parking lot.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Got some new music.
But my question is too, what's Roy doing right now? He's just like, yeah, I don't know. She's working to
When
11.
I think of Roy, I think of what's the Married with Children guy?
Oh, Al Bundy.
Yeah, I imagine he's sitting on the couch with a remote in one hand and his like
Hand in his pants?
halfway down his pants, his
Oh,
other hand, and then he's just watching TV on a like plaid covered couch.
Doesn't sound like a bad night.
Oh my.
Adam Jones like regular Monday night for me.
Yeah, baby. This is. Let's not forget. This is the guy who left Pam at a hockey game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He's El Bundy.
She's probably gonna walk in the door and he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, you were working late
Oh
tonight."
yeah, I thought you were just in bed, babe.
Oh hey, Pam. So Jim and Pam are getting ready to say goodnight, but then Jim pulls out the old, and literally old iPod.
Yeah. Literally old iPod.
Yeah,
And,
and this is all her.
Not to go nerdy, but if this was in 2005, that was probably a first gen,
There you
like
go.
literally first gen iPod. So
it's like he pulls out a brick, so it might as well be.
the classic.
That's right. And it gives her an ear pod.
No,
Or an earbud.
Nay.
Sorry, not an
Yeah.
earbud.
she asks for it.
She asks for an
Yes.
earbud.
She
And
says
that's-
new music, and then holds that hand out saying, "Let's stand here and listen to good music together."
I'm not gonna lie, that's a thing. I mean, when you hand over when you got an earbud in each ear, like I so badly want to say ear pod or AirPod because of where we live now in this
Sure.
time in history, but
But back then, equivalent, same thing.
yes, but if you hand somebody one of your earbuds and you stand there together, that's a thing.
That's love.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a thing.
But
Now would be
Jim
an,
was
now would be an
smart.
AirPod, and
There
you
you
could
go.
stand 50 feet away from each other.
You
if
could.
wanted
You could
to.
be in another room.
Yeah.
I will say there have been times where I've handed Andy one of my AirPods.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. and we
Sometimes
just-
when I'm on a
Yeah,
phone
we
call
do.
with like somebody and Maribus wants to talk, I'm like, here, just take one of my AirPods.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we do that. But you know what? Jim is smart because music does get the ladies. Like whenever music that I love is playing, you're just drawn to it. You kind of just walk into the moment and want to stay a while.
All I gotta do is put on a good. So we have like a record player with vinyl.
It's very trendy.
Yeah, I just put on a John Mayer album, and she's like butter.
Yeah, I just
She's
come
just
and
like butter,
stay a
Adam Jones.
while.
Oh, baby.
I love it.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. So then we cut back to Chili's. Christian is leaving, and the deal has been sealed. He pulls out of the parking lot and heads home. Michael and Jan are there. They're so excited. They close this huge deal. It's probably going to save the branch.
Yeah.
Tons of jobs, all that stuff. They hug, and then there's just that good awkward kiss from Michael Scott to Jan.
Super, super awkward. Like he leaned, I can't say it.
He leaned.
He leaned in and went for it, and I thought, man, she's gonna run. That is the most awkward thing. But
She's
she
going to turn and say,
stayed.
"I'm sorry, I thought we were good friends."
Yeah.
But she stayed and she enjoyed it, and then it got less weird. Like I was watching, and I'm like, wait a minute, folks, he's not a bad kisser.
She said that. Those are
I
the
did.
words of Andy Lambert in our living room watching
yeah.
Michael Scott kiss Jan
Well,
Levinson,
because it went from
not
awkward
Gould.
to like real
Yeah.
kissing.
She says out loud, "Oh, he's not a bad kisser." I'm like,
You gotta
Because you
analyze
would
it.
What?
assume that he is a terrible, terrible kisser the whole time. Like start awkward, end awkward. But it got smooth.
Michael Scott, ladies man. Jan, speaking of sealing the deal, Jan is like, "Let's get out of here."
Like
and
yeah.
and-
He sealed it.
and what does he say? "Oh, we're gonna go. Oh, it's okay. Well, we're just gonna go. We're gonna go to the go-go."
Go into the go-go.
Go to the go-go.
my new favorite phrase. We're going to the go-go.
Oh my
We can
gosh.
add that to our texting script.
Yeah, just if we're gonna go somewhere.
We're gonna go to the go-go.
Gonna go to the go-go.
Yeah.
There you go. And so the night ends. The next morning, the camera crew, the documentary crew, comes in and the office is empty. They're kicking on the lights.
Yeah.
And then we have Dwight
In his underwear.
Of course.
under a space blanket.
Why, of course? Like, why, of course? Why was Dwight there in his underwear? I guess we will never
Because
know.
why would you sacrifice comfort when you sleep when you could just take your pants off?
But why was he sleeping in his
Amen,
underwear
Adam
in
Jones.
the office? Why not go home and take your pants off?
Well, because he's waiting for Michael.
That's right. He waited all night.
He's waiting.
Oh,
He would never
I
leave
missed
him.
that part. He really was waiting for Michael.
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
So the question I was going to ask is like, where in the world did Dwight get a space blanket? But
It's in
then
it's in his car.
But then I thought, oh yeah, it's Dwight. So there you go. So he
Yeah,
had a
Oh,
space-
yeah.
like
he's
out of
got
his
one.
back pocket.
yeah, he had that good
Yeah,
NASA
sure.
space blanket.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dwight is like sleeping at the office, awaiting Michael's return because earlier when he was leaving, Michael said, "Hold tight until I get back."
Yeah.
Everybody else left. Dwight stayed.
He held tight.
That's right. He's the vanguard. He's gonna stay. He's a sentry, bro. He will be there. So he's awaiting Michael's return. He actually thinks it's Michael coming in. He's like, Michael.
As he's choking on
Michael,
his spit.
here's my Andes.
Yeah, and then in his underwear, he just gets up and runs into Michael's office to see if he's there, looks out the window, and sees Jan arriving via cab to get her car. And he puts two and two together and realizes there may have been a little bit of a rendezvous, if you know what I mean.
But if he
Little
saw the kiss
hookup.
that we saw, he would understand.
Yes, he would. So then we progress a couple hours later as everybody's in the office, and the most like normal, subdued Michael Scott ever comes into the office.
Yeah, he's cool.
He just walks in. He's like, "Hey, Pam, how's it going?" He just straight into his office, like no jokes, no nothing, no shenanigans. Just like, "Hey, guys,"
Kind of
how's it
like
going?"
Levi Jeans,
He's a
Michael.
smooth operator.
That's right. That's right. And then we get a little interview with him, and he's saying, "Hey, nothing happened," to the crew. He's like, "I'm not, gentlemen don't kiss and tell, and neither do I." All that good stuff. He's just,
Yeah.
It's off limits. He doesn't want to talk about it. And then he caves. We went to the hotel room. We made out for a while. Talked for 5 hours. She fell asleep on my arm. So
Yeah.
Aww.
talked about her divorce,
Oh,
all that good stuff. So Dwight has put two and two together. He realizes that there may have been a little bit of a rendezvous, and we have this clip here, but he's waited all night for Michael, and he is ready to ask the hard questions.
Hello, Dwight.
Did you do her? Jen Levinson
look at that hair.
No Gould.
Did you do her?
This is none of your affair. Because she is your boss,
And she is your boss?
and she is a woman. She is a strong, soft, thoughtful, sexy.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? I don't think I can sit here and let you talk about her that way without me defending her honor. Jan, I defend your honor. Is that all?
Thanks, Michael.
And then he walks out, which I don't think that's how defending your honor works.
Jan,
Really?
I defend your honor.
Done.
I declared bankruptcy.
That's right.
There's a pattern here.
Yes, indeed. You just say things and it happens. So then Jim and Pam are over at her desk and they're debriefing about Jan and Michael. That everybody's starting to connect the dots. And then Pam's phone rings and it's Jan. Sorry, Pam's phone rings and it's Jan calling. And they transfer over to Michael, and Michael's being cute. "Hey, how's traffic? Oh, I miss you." All that good
Yeah.
stuff.
She's gone for, say, an hour.
Oh, probably, yeah. Something
Yeah.
like
But
that.
you know what?
Yep.
When you're in the early stages of a relationship, an hour does feel like a day.
You're in that giggle,
You
shushy,
reminisce-
shushy.
Sushi.
Yeah.
I like Adam's sushi.
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 Oh.
And what do you say? Sushi?
Well, technically, Michael Scott says giggle, shushy. Like shush.
Oh, like shh.
Yes.
Oh.
But Adam says sushi, which is delicious.
Which is
I
absolutely
imagine.
delicious.
Yeah, I was thinking sushi.
Yeah, so he was saying like laugh,
Eat,
Sushi.
eat some raw fish.
Eat. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Excellent.
exactly.
That makes, you're right. You know what? That makes more sense. Let's do that
See
for
it now. I
now.
want sushi now.
I'm telling you, Red 88, are you still open?
Nice.
Good question.
So yeah, Michael's being all cute, and then it's obvious that just it takes a horrible turn because Jan obviously says that it was a mistake and a lot of other things. And
I want to see only other people.
Yeah, and he's hiding under the desk talking to her on the phone. I love it.
yeah, so he crawls under the desk for some privacy, which he does not get because the camera crew follows him. But Jan obviously saying it's a mistake. Michael got her drunk. She wants
Did
to
you
see
slip something in my drink?
Michael slipped her a Mickey, all that good stuff.
Michael probably doesn't even know what a Mickey is,
Indeed.
so I'm thinking that's a no.
Yeah. So then Jim is telling Pam that they kind of had their first date last night. There was dinner, a movie.
Jim got real gutsy right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
This starts to
He made me nervous.
take a little bit of an interesting turn.
Gutsy.
He says there was dinner. There, which is cheese sandwich, yes. There was a movie. We read a screenplay. I don't know. Sounds like it was pretty good. There was fireworks. And he says...
He meant between them, but
Ooh.
also there was literal fireworks.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. Great connection.
Bow, chicka, bow, wow.
Whoa. And then so he basically says, hey, that's a pretty good date. It's
That sounds like a good date. Here's the thing, Jim.
sounds romantic.
She has a fiance.
Indeed.
So she could never, the loyalty there. and
Yeah.
She could never play that card. So even if she walked away from that night thinking, that was real nice, she could never say it and talk about it. So he
right.
put her in a very awkward position.
Yeah. Well, speaking of an awkward position, Jim is trying to turn on the charm, and we have a clip here, but he's turning on the charm a little bit, and then he decides to finish strong. Listen to this.
At least I didn't leave you at a high school hockey game.
Way to ruin it, Jim.
I have some taxes to get out.
Ooh.
Yeah, not nice.
Oh, come on, Pam. Okay, we didn't dance. And I was totally joking anyway. I mean, it's not really a date if the girl goes home to her fiance,
Yeah.
It's true.
right?
There you go.
Yeah. Sorry, Jim.
Cool guy Jim trying to play it off. It was just a
Yeah.
joke. It was just a joke.
Yeah. I was just being funny.
And then
hard.
I love how this episode wraps up because you just have Michael who thought he found the love of his life. You got Jim who thinks that he's finally made inroads with somebody that, could be very special to him.
Yeah.
And then they just share this look of like, what the heck, dude?
Kind of like it's kind of like a shrug, kind of like, well, that's life. Like
Yep.
that's what
Can't win 'em
you know.
all.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh, love. What a
Oh,
cruel
love.
game. There you go. And
What's love got to do?
Got to do. We singing a lot on tonight's episode.
I did get best vocals.
Yeah, you got best
So I
podcast
feel like
singer.
I need to.
Dundie.
Yeah, I feel like I need
yeah.
to show up.
Dun, 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 dun.
it's good stuff. And so that brings us to the end of season 2, episode 7, The Client.
Honestly, I think this is my favorite episode thus far.
Yeah, you were
Because I
saying
start-
that.
Yeah, because it's hilarious. I start to fall in love with Michael,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a really sweet moment between Pim.
Man,
Pim and Jam.
Pim and Jim.
you
Pim
two
and Jam.
tonight.
I know.
My
Dang it.
goodness, it was good. It
was a good
real
one.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
it is.
I think this is one of the times where we get a real good, like, just very endearing, perspective of Michael the whole time.
Yeah. He starts
Yeah, I
to win
agree.
us a little bit
Yeah.
here, and then he shows up as a boss, and we start to see a different side of him. I like that.
Yeah.
And
Not a lot of
then-
cringe from him.
Sure.
Which when you look at the moments isolated, you would think like this could be cringe.
Yeah.
Like he's singing the Baby Back Ribs song. He's like,
But it all connects.
talking about
Yeah.
talking about the divorce
We
in
get
front
to
of the
see his
client.
process.
But Christian was just it was his audience.
Yeah,
It
it was awesome. And then who doesn't like candles on a rooftop?
And grilled cheese.
And
And
I do
grilled
like
cheese.
grilled cheese a lot.
Me too.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna
good.
remember that. Candles and grilled
Next
cheese
time
on
you
the
try
roof.
and come,
Did I tell you guys quick thing?
Adam
One of
here.
the second, third date, one of the two. I took Mary Beth up on the roof of, the church I was at the time, and like we ate up there and then lit a lantern and set it off.
Oh dang, like Tangled style, like Rapunzel?
Yeah,
no way, like
Yeah.
that kind of lantern, like it blew in the wind.
yeah, like one of those with the wax. You know?
After that, like, how do you break up with somebody? Like that won her. You're done.
Yeah, and I
She's
actually remember
yours.
coming back to college because we were gone for the weekend, and coming back, and all my roommates were like, "You can't do that like so quick, because like now how are you gonna top it?"
Oh yeah, you gotta pace yourself,
Yeah.
Adam Jones.
Yeah,
that's
so I
true.
just like jumped the gun.
But I guess it paid off.
paid off. Got the
How
girl.
did you propose? Was it bigger than that?
When I proposed, I recreated our first date. So it was not that.
Sweet.
Okay. We'll get into those details at a later episode because
Sure.
I feel like there'll be an appropriate time for us to talk about
Right.
proposals.
That's true.
Oh,
Things
yeah.
like that.
Oh,
So.
yeah.
Either way, favorite episode thus far. I liked
Okay.
it.
Excellent. Well, that's good to know. Awesome. So
Wait, hold on. There was a point where I made you pause because I was laughing so hard. Do you remember what that was or moment gone?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Sounds
It'll
good.
come to me when we're not recording, and
I
then
know.
no one will ever know about it.
We'll just laugh in bed and
There you go.
go to sleep.
So this brings us to the part of the episode usually where we would talk about a prank that Jim pulled and give it a ranking, but no prank this episode. Just that good reading of Threat Level Midnight. So, but we will take a look at the leaderboard. So in third place with 21 Shroot Bucks would be Season 2, Episode 2, Sexual Harassment. This is when Jim is left satisfied and smiling. Season 2, Episode 5, Halloween. Jim and Pam post Dwight's resume in second place with 23 Shroot Bucks.
That's good.
And then in first place with a whopping 26 Shroot Bucks, it was from the fight when Jim puts Dwight's desk in the bathroom.
Yeah.
That was
So
awesome.
there you
With
go.
Kevin.
That's right. Kevin and his candle. Wash your hands, Kevin. Anyways, so now we're going to head over to that good subreddit over at Dunder Mifflin, and Adam Jones bringing us some awesome content. Hit us, my friend. What do you got for us tonight?
This community still brings so much stuff, and I always have too much, so I always have some in the queue.
That's right. And as always, check the show notes because there's a link to the winner so you can see what
For
we're
that
getting
episode.
ready.
Rob, how do we access the show notes?
That's a great question. So I don't know how it works in a lot of podcast players. If you're listening via iTunes or like the podcast app in your iPhone,
Okay.
then just when you go to the actual show and you have the screen up that
the
has
actual
like
episode?
when
episode,
you have the episode screen up that has like the pause and the forward and backward and all that stuff. If you just scroll up, you'll see the show notes down there.
Okay.
And there's links to our Patreon, all kinds, our social media, all that stuff. But every episode, when we talk about the content over at Dunder Mifflin, we have a link so that you can click on that as you're listening and see what we're getting ready to talk about
Sweet.
and enjoy
So
it with us
take
together.
your finger right now and scroll down, scroll up,
Yeah.
and find
There
what
you
I'm
go.
going to be talking about.
There you go.
Sweet.
But yeah, the Dunder Mifflin subreddit, about 1 million members. They were at like 800 when I think I first started following them, but now there's a lot of people here. And so there's always good content. We've got from today user Leafy420.
420.
So that's pretty, that's good. That's a good username.
That's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Okay.
He likes his veggies.
We know
Yeah, there you go.
His
That's what
leafy
it's-
greens.
Yeah, exactly. He likes to eat. He likes to eat leafy greens on April 20th. No problem.
Yeah,
he's a healthy guy.
He's a healthy man.
There you go.
A healthy man.
Proud of you.
And I wish I could find always things that directly relate to this episode, but for those of you, probably the majority of our listeners that have seen The Office before, you'll get this one. But it's just a picture of somebody breaking off a piece of that fancy feast. It looks just like Kit Kat, but they're breaking up a piece, and it's Purina. It's labeled. It's everything. Very creative. I very much appreciate the gesture of this post.
Break me off a piece of that fancy feast. Oh, it's so good.
Apple sauce,
Football cream. That's my favorite one.
So I'm sorry if you have not watched The Office already.
We'll get
through.
there.
You're gonna get there,
Yeah.
but you will have to come back and you'll understand it soon enough.
So good.
So yeah, I really like this post.
So user Leafy420, they're going to get a Dundie for the fanciest
the fanciest
post.
Yep.
There you go.
They'll get a piece of silver. They have no silver or anything or gold or anything on this post, so we're gonna give it to them. So
nice.
You're welcome.
There you go. All right, so now we come to the end of the episode. Once again, we just want to say thank you guys so much for listening. Thanks for all the support, sharing the show, telling people about it, engaging with us on social media, all that stuff. It really helps out and it means a lot to us. Thank you so much for that. Make sure that wherever you get your podcast, you rate, you subscribe. That way you can stay up to date. Make sure you tell a friend. It's a great tangible way to help with the show. And as always, check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/anofficepod, ANOfficePod. And like I said, for just $3 a month, you get access to the after party.
And you're going to want this access this week.
This was fun.
And this week we're heading over to Chili's. So Make sure you check that out. And your homework for this week, ladies and gentlemen, number 1, go to Chili's.
Yes, please.
And order a blossom extra awesome.
That's
and
right.
some baby
With
back
ribs.
ribs.
Oh, and some of those baby back
And
ribs.
I got a burger. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Just head over to Chili's. You're going to love it. And make sure that you watch Season 2, Episode 8, the performance review. So that's going to be some good stuff.
Yeah.
So there you go. So, hey, until next time, once again, thanks so much for listening. And I'm Rob.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Andi.
And this was
Everybody in the conference room.
Let's head over to Chili's, baby. Baby back,
baby back, baby back. I want my baby
back,
baby
baby
back. She started
Did I come in too early? Okay, here. Why don't I do baby back? Ready? Wait, who's gonna Chili's it?
I'll Chili's it.
Okay.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. So good.
After like 2 times of saying that, it gets super hard. That's what she said.
Oh my gosh. Have a good night, everybody.